side and
going that route. From there around it.
Oh my gosh.
well, you can stand in the sun if you want to stand in the sun. Just gaggle right here.
That sounds like it's
Amazing.
Officer, which is me. So, you want to become a sailor on board the Balclutha. Excellent choice. First thing I want to do, though, is I want to make sure you're not scared of heights. So what? We're going to pretend you're not doing it. The first thing that you would do is you would climb up this ladder to that first stick that's going across called a yard. You'd climb up that second ladder. You'd climb up that third ladder all the way up to the top where that blackbird is sitting. Now that blackbird would actually be sitting on another stick going across called a yard.
I know what a yard is.
Now, you will go up there and you will notice this yard right here has this wire underneath it. You're going to stand on that wire and you're going to show me that you're not scared of heights by raising and lowering a sail. So you run up there, all three ladders, and you get up there and you raise and lower the sail and you come on back down. Go, not a problem. I can do that. Well, stand here quietly for a minute. Is the ship moving?
No.
No, she's not. Now, what did I say coming around Cape Horn? Really bad thunderstorms. And if you're on water when there's a thunderstorm happening, you get really big waves. And the ship's going to rock from side to side and bounce up and down. And you're going to be standing on this little wire, 150 feet up in the air, trying to raise and lower a sail, with waves coming up and over that American flag. See the American flag on the back mast back there? That's about 50 feet up in the air. So you're at 150 feet up in the air, holding on with one arm, trying to raise and lower a sail. Ship's rocking back and forth, going up and down. You're getting splashed by waves. But you don't know that yet.
Yeah, I'm out.
Because you ran up there and came down and the ship's not moving, not a problem. Now, what you don't know is there's no such thing as a life jacket. There is no such thing as a safety harness. You, as a sailor, are scared to death of the water, and you don't know how to swim.
Why would anybody do this again?
Exactly. But you thinking you're out for a sense of adventure, that's up and down, not a problem. So you tell the first officer, yep, I'm going to go ahead and become a sailor. So the first officer hands you a piece of paper filled with writing, about this big, pretend that this has written on it, and goes, okay, I need you to read this and sign. Well, you've never been to school, so you don't know how to read, you don't know how to write, and you don't know how to do math.
I do.
So you look at this piece of paper. Okay, what's it say? Imagine writing all on this. Well, the first officer reads it, goes, well, basically this contract that you're going to sign says we're going to give you a job, so you're going to learn a trade. We're going to pay you for that trade. We're going to give you a place to sleep, and we're going to give you food. That's 4 lines on a piece of paper that has a bunch of lines on it. Okay, well that sounds good. I'm going to learn a trade. I'm going to get paid. I'm going to get a place to sleep, and I'm going to get some food. All right, basic necessities. So you make your X, officer writes your name. You are now officially a sailor on board Balclutha. So, you have signed on the dotted line. I have as the first officer. The first officer has the contract in the pocket. You all right there? Yeah. So let me show you where you're going to spend your free time. Notice the quotes. Do you all know what this means?
Free time.
Free time. Means you might get it, you might not get it. But I'm going to show you where you get to hang out when you have your free time. So come this way. In this area. This was sailor territory. Now I want you to look at this word right here. The forecastle. That's how it's spelled, right? If you were reading, that would say forecastle. Well, sailors like to shorten their words, so they called it a forecastle. This is where you slept. So, very carefully, you can go in through either door. There is a big step up and over. Safety, you're going from light to dark. Watch your footing. Watch where you put your hands so you don't grab the fire alarm. Go ahead and have a seat in the bottom bunk.
Sorry.
Okay.
That's great.
That would be your bed. Alright, ladies, get your seats. Get your seats.
My question is, there's holes there. Couldn't the water come
We're
in?
going to talk about that. Good lead in now.
Excuse me, Sherman.
Okay, ladies, everybody found their seat? Okay, welcome to the forecastle. This is where you're going to be sleeping. Now, I don't know about you, but my bed has a mattress. My bed has blankets. My bed has a pillow. You don't have any of that here aboard the ship. What you have is what you're sleeping in. The reason for that, mattresses at that time would have been filled with hay and straw. As the grown-up here mentioned, there's holes in the front of the ship. Well, those holes would be blocked with pieces of metal, but you're still going to get water seeping around the sides coming in. So this floor is always going to be wet and damp. If hay or straw gets damp or wet, it gets moldy and mildew and it stinks and you can get sick from it. So you slept on the planks of wood. Now that ditty bag or backpack that I talked about, that's your pillow. You better hope that somebody told you to bring a blanket. So you either have something to sleep on or sleep under. So your bed is not very comfortable. But that's all right, because remember the ship's rocking from side to side, bouncing up and down. So it's not going to be comfortable sleeping anyway. Plus, you're only going to get 4 hours of sleep at a time. I like 8 to 10 hours of sleep. 4 hours isn't going to cut it. But the reason you only get 4 hours of sleep is there is between 50 and 70 men working on board this vessel, this ship. If we did a quick count of the number of sleeping beds here, there are only 20. I may not be very good at math as a sailor, but if I've got a big number over here like 70, and I've got a small number over here like 20, even I know that there's something wrong here. How's that going to work? So what they did was they broke the day and night into shifts. So 20 people would sleep for 4 hours while everybody else was out working. Then those 20 people would get up, go out and work, and 20 more would come down and come to sleep. In today's Navy, it is called hot bunking. Because you're getting out of a bed that somebody's sleeping in so it's nice and warm, and somebody else is coming into the bed that's nice and warm so it's hot. It's known as hot bunking. So, I'm not sleeping comfortably, and I'm only getting 4 hours of sleep. I like it quiet. Well, that ain't gonna happen either. Because while you're trying to sleep, you've got officers out there yelling and working. Ship's going up and down, so these anchor chains are doing this the whole time. This thing right here is a gear shift. It's going clank, 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 clank the whole time. This is a metal ship. So you're going to hear the sound of the waves slapping up against the hull. It's not going to be quiet by any stretch of the imagination. So now I'm tired and I'm cranky. I've only had 4 hours of sleep in a very uncomfortable position. The only thing that can save me is a really good meal. If I get to have a good meal, I can work through the crankiness. So, with a show of hands, how many of you like pizza? Ice cream, spaghetti, macaroni and cheese, maybe a nice vegetable or meat dish. Okay, put your hands down. You're not getting any of that. Remember the ice box that we talked about in the Ark? Well, that was 1930. We're talking 1886. There's no electricity on board this ship, which means there's no refrigerator, which means you can't keep cheese and meat and everything cold. So, what you're going to get for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner, all has to come in wooden barrels. This includes your drinking water. Now, if you've ever left water in a thermos for a couple of days and drank it, it's not real good, is it? But that's what you're going to be drinking. Food. For food, you're going to eat salted pork, hardtack, and peas.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now, wait a minute. Peas, I recognize the word peas. Those are those nice green things that you can get out of a can or fresh out of a garden or something like that. Those are those green things, right? You know what peas are? Well, no, that's not the peas we're talking about.
What?
We're talking about those hard peas that you make pea soup out of. All those dried, hard ones. Because remember, fresh peas in a barrel, they're not going to last that long. So they're all dried out. Salted pork. How many of you have eaten beef jerky? Think about that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is what salted pork is. Instead of salted beef, it's salted pork. Hardtack is a biscuit. Now, personally, when I make biscuits, I use 5 ingredients. Flour, water, sugar, salt, and baking soda. Okay? Tastes really good. They fluff up nice. Well, hardtack, emphasis on the word hard, is made with flour and water only. They forgot to put in the sugar, the salt, and the baking soda, which causes the biscuit to fluff up and taste real nice. It comes out as hard as a hockey puck. Which is why in some movies you'll see them tapping it up against something to break it up so when they bite into it they don't bust their teeth. It also gives the bugs a chance to get out of it. Remember? Wooden barrels. Right, it's added protein. Yeah, extra protein. Extra protein. So, yes, my contract said they're going to give me a place to sleep. They did give me a place to sleep. However, I'm going to be very tired and cranky. They said they'd give me a meal. Well, yeah, I'm getting fed. I'm getting water and hardtack, salted pork, peas. We haven't talked about the other two yet. We'll talk about those in a minute. So, because of this food aspect, the cook